Hello. Hello, hello. Alright, let me turn this down so that's not overpowering, but I guess it's not going to be too loud either way. So, hello. Hello, chat. Finally doing the fucking trial today. I'm going to try to make the stream longer than it normally is because I didn't stream yesterday. But yeah, hopefully this will go well and my throat won't die, but if I end it soon, then you know why, I guess. Without further ado, let's just get into this. I am not on the right scene. Here we go. Here we go. Is the audio playing? No, I haven't muted because I'm smart. Is this? I want to check real quick. Am I too quiet in comparison? Nope, I am. I am perfect in volume. Okay. Starting this fucking whack-ass trial that the victim isn't even fucking dead. So I don't know what the fuck, whatever. It's 22nd of February, 9:23 a.m. The Old Bailey, defendant's antechamber. The Old Bailey. This place always makes me feel strange. I seem to get chills down my spine and break out in a nervous sweat all... I also apparently forget to read at the same time. I seem to get chills down my spine and break out in a nervous sweat all at the same time. Jesus. Well, I didn't think I'd be back here so soon. That's my... Oh, I feel like that's probably Sozeki. That's my line! Yep, called it. Good morning! Ah! Good morning, Mr. Natsume. It was only 2 days ago that I was declared not guilty here. Yes, we had somehow managed to prove he didn't stab Miss Green in the back. But now this? Another morning, another murder! That's probably not a good phrase to live by. And here I am again in this hellhole! Can't keep coming to court! I'm beginning to think he's right. It really doesn't seem as though he's cursed. Or it really does seem as though he's cursed. Mr. Naruhodo, I'm afraid I have bad Oh! Mr. Natsume, good morning. Yes, morning. So, here we are again. Yes. Again. Yay! Oh, this is so awkward. Judicial Assistant Miss Mikatoma Esquires! What's the bad news? Oh dear. You heard, did you? If you come in shouting at the top of your voice, people can't help hearing what you fuck English. Oh, I'm sorry. You've done nothing wrong, Mrs. Sato. Now, what is it? He's guilty. That's what I'm fucking call it. Well, it seems that the prosecution in today's trial will be led by Lord Barrick Van Zyke. What else is new? What else is new? So they didn't get a new prosecutor for this? I mean, it fucking makes sense. I need to... My voice in my ears is too loud. Okay. I'll try that and see if it's good. Sorry, it was just too loud for me in my own ears. Will be led by Barrick Van Zykes. Van Zykes? Oh no! Oh no no! The Reaper of the Bailey. Look at me, I'm too fucking sexy for this fucking game series. I'm already needing water, that's not a good sign. The so-called Reaper of the Bailey, the most legendary prosecutor in the land. He's also probably a vampire. Like, probably not mortal, but we have no proof in the matter. In the trial 2 days ago, he pursued Soseki-san and I relentlessly. Of course, by the skin of our teeth, we managed to pull through, but still.
Perhaps Mr. Natsume's acquittal in the last trial wasn't the end of the matter. After all...
Yes, I know what you're thinking. The legend of the Reaper that says, nothing can save a person in the dock when Lord Van Sykes is the prosecutor.
Okay, but here's the thing. Okay, spoilers, I guess. But we already know he's gonna be fine. Because the first trial of this chapter proves that at the very least he's alive. So, like, saying this shit about, like, no one survives, we already know that's bullshit. Or at the very least, he hasn't died yet. So, like, you know.
Oh no.
That even if the person is found not guilty, the accused will meet a mysterious end one way or another.
I'm gonna burp. We're good! No, we're not. Okay. And we've experienced it firsthand.
Oh yeah, because they don't know what happened to McGilded at this point in the story. Oh, that's fucking wacky!
The man we successfully defended met the most terrifying end after his acquittal. Right here in the Old Bailey.
They don't know what happened to him yet. Oh, that's fucking what? This is so cool.
Do I have to put up with those ice-cold eyes boring into my soul again? Cursed by evil spirits and now by the Reaper! Pair of petrifying perils! Fuck! Potentially! I didn't have a stroke, you had a stroke. Is my stream lagging? I don't think so. Okay. Sorry, I just saw it, like, lagging a little bit, and I wanted to make sure.
Well, if it's potentially, at least you appear to have hope, Mr. Natsume.
Look, I'm student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire! Ah! Yes? I'm innocent! You have to believe me! You more than anyone now! Don't worry. I'll be your steadfast ally every step of the way in this battle. I promise. And this promise had to be a hard battle, I fear.
Okay. Well, the trial is scheduled to begin shortly. We should move into the courtroom.
Let's go.
Oh, yes, I forgot to say. I'm afraid he won't be able to make it. Mr. Sholmes, I mean.
Good, I could not handle doing his voice right now. That's probably for the best.
Oh?
If he were here, I might be tempted to rely on his help. And that could be seen as a weakness. If Lord Van Sykes were to notice, he'd prey on it mercilessly. At least that's my gut feeling, which is probably very accurate.
Mr. Naruhodo.
You're right. Yes, you're so right. Oh, well said, locum sune, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. Well said. I swear on this sword at my side that I stole from a dead boy for IB colleague. And on the spirit of Cosmo that it harbors. Alright. I'll show him what a Japanese lawyer can do. I'll set you free. With honor! With a honor with a U, because British.
Oh, yes!
Here we go.
22nd of February, 9:40 a.m., the Old Bailey courtroom.
Oh yeah, I forgot, we got his costume too. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. Now I call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to participate. He's a vampire. He is not a human. That is a vampire. He has rejected his humanity. Funny JoJo joke. I want to fucking... I can't say that, I think. The prosecution is ready. The defense is ready, my lord. I actually love that outfit. Readiness for the trial, my learned Nipponese friend, is not what the defense needs. What you need is readiness for your inevitable defeat.
Good to see you too.
It's not just in my imagination. It's really there. Lord Van Sykes, such an animosity towards us Japanese for some reason. Yep, he's just racist.
It was some time ago now that he first became known as the Reaper at the Bailey, I believe. These past few years, he hasn't appeared in court at all. Yet now he's back in the courtroom, though for some reason, only when I'm defending. This Reaper, with his curious disdain for us Japanese, is a prosecutor shrouded in mystery. Still, this isn't... Reba! This isn't the time to be pondering that. I have to concentrate on Suzeki-san's trial.
Furthermore, I now call upon the 6 ladies and gentlemen of the jury. You have been chosen at random to represent the will of the people in this trial. Are you ready to fulfill your duty?
Oh, this guy.
Absolutely. I had a feeling this Larkin wasn't innocent before.
I must say that I feel especially ruthless on days when my hat refuses to sit right. Oh, well, I rather like how you're wearing your hat. I think the ruthless look is very fetching, actually. That is okay, so this is the first character in the jury right now who I haven't had to voice within the first game. For some reason, they just reuse jury members. There are like 12 people in the total of England for this to be randomly chosen. I need to be somewhere at 10 o'clock. I have a very important meeting. Let's make this quick.
I couldn't agree more. I need to take home 5 bob tonight, or the missus will go through the roof.
Oh, may the Lord show us all the light here, and lead his flock to a righteous verdict. Oh, good. I'm really happy the old man is here, because if anyone, doesn't know me personally, I have a character that is named Grandpa Boomer, and my headcanon throughout the entirety of any time this old man shows up is this is just Grandpa Boomer in just the past. That is my headcanon constantly. The British jury system is so very different to our own, isn't it? It's quite extraordinary to think that the power of judgment is in the hands of 6 members of the public, and that the judge can only pass sentence when all jurors are in agreement about the defendant's guilt. 6 citizens of London chosen at random, my ass! Or at least that's the idea. Exactly, bro! Ryunosuke knows what the fuck is up! The prosecution would draw attention to the fact that the accused was on trial here but 2 days ago. Accordingly, where possible, the same jurors have been asked to return for duty today. That's... Oh. Is that why? I mean, I guess they all are the same jurors from that trial.
Very well, let us commence the trial. Lord Van Zykes, your opening statement, please.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, it is not the intent of the prosecution to cast doubt over your past decision. However, the innocent verdict afforded to this eccentric Nipponese before has had dire consequences. Did the accused repent for his wrongdoing in that affair? Far from it. Instead, he used his freedom to perpetrate a most blood-curdling crime, namely, that of the attempted murder of his neighboring lodger, an innocent Englishman. I love the way the goggles kind of look cool. To explain the circumstances of the crime, the prosecution calls its first witness to the stand. Oh, already with the cape off! Okay. Already with the cape off. The detective responsible for investigating the scene, and the accused himself. God, it feels so weird to have, fucking Gregson here, because of what happened in the 5th trial of the last game. Witnesses, your name and occupations, please.
Yes, sir! Tobias Gregson, Detective Inspector at Scotland Yard's Homicide Division. Suzeki Natsume from the Empire of Japan. My government ordered me to come here as a student to study your language and culture. Mr. Natsume? Yes, my lord, sir! I'm quite sure I'm not mistaken. that you swore an oath never to set foot in my courtroom again. I remember it as if it were yesterday, because it was.
Oh, the day before, in fact, my lord, but close enough.
Ugh, believe me, this is the last place I want to be.
Inspector, let's hear from you first. Explain the case for the court.
What you all, sir?
You know what I just realized? Gregson and juror number 1, like the dude with the top hat, they have the exact same voice, basically. So if there's any point where Gregson and juror number 1 talk at the same time, it's going to sound as if the same guy is talking. Great!
What you all, sir?
But this isn't testimony. You didn't say testimony yet. You didn't... Hold on.
The incident occurred at the Garadeb household where the defendant has lodgings. In the ground floor room of the victim, Mr. William Shamspeare. The defendant has already admitted to visiting the victim on the night in question.
Yeah, but he's alive.
Mr. Shamspeare collapsed in his room as a result of poisoning by strictacine. I think I said that right, but if I didn't, no one fucking cares. He was found the following morning when the landlord, suspecting something was wrong, broke down the door. This means, I presume, that the door to the victim's room was locked at the time of the incident?
Correct, my lord. It was locked from the inside, making entry to or exit from the room impossible.
Although the victim, Mr. Shamspeare, lives to tell the tale, he very nearly didn't. The man was halfway to heaven when he first found him. I was the first officer on the scene, my lord. And I have a photographic print here that I took at the time to show how it looked.
I mean, yeah, that's basically... I don't remember the stain, and also the body, like, the head feels a little different, but I don't think they would go to the difference of, like, changing his fucking head. Regardless, I don't remember a stain on the floor. But anyways...
Yes, a chilling scene indeed. The man looks very much deceased. That's right. Everyone present believes that's exactly what he was. And then he got up and started saying Shakespeare. And then just flopped over. It was a very strange day. Very well. I shall accept this photographic print as evidence for the court.
Crime scene photograph has been entered into the court record. A photographic print of the scene taken by police upon their arrival. The victim can be seen unconscious at the table, having been poisoned. Interesting. Oh, shit. One thing I'm going to change real quick. Gameplay reader. There it is. I'm going to turn that off. Because... Wait, bitch. Reader store mode off. Wait, then what the hell is autoplay? Oh, is that just for, like, the, buttons? I don't know. Like, just, it'll autoplay the text bars or something? I don't know.
Now then, Mr. Natsume. Yes! As the defendant, do you have anything to say at this juncture? They're haunted! Haunted by evil spirits! Good gracious! What's haunted? Me! My lodgings! There's been a whole series of strange happenings in my lodgings. The tenant before me died in a mysterious circumstance. A woman was stabbed by no one on the street outside. My neighbor was poisoned. And me! What about me? I've nearly been killed countless times.
How come we never heard about those countless times?
Killed, Mr. Natsume? How? Even on that fateful night it happened. When I returned from Mr. Shamspeare's room. I lit my gas stove and climbed into bed. But before long, the stove went out. And somebody tried to kill me. You must always extinguish all fires before retiring for the night, Mr. Natsume. But it's so cold! My runny nose would freeze! The point is, I didn't poison my neighbor. Oh, why am I being accused of this? Why is my existence so cursed? I don't need to fucking hear your sob story, bitch. Thank you, witness. I believe I have a reasonably clear picture of events. I think. Maybe.
If I could raise one more point, my lord. One more conclusive point.
Conclusive? Go on.
Fortunately, the victim, Mr. Shamspear, has regained consciousness after his ordeal. And he has named the true culprit. Oh, wow, big shocker. You knew about this, Ryunosuke! Why are you shocked? You literally heard it! The poison consumed by the victim was administered in a cup of tea that he drank on the night in question. Tea, my lord, that was brought to the victim's room by the accused.
The accused? Good grief! Order! Order!
Yes, that's the crux of this whole case. So if Soseki-san is innocent, then why? Why has the victim accused him?
Well, Mr. Natsume, what have you to say to this accusation? That evening, yes, I did take some freshly brewed tea with me when I was visiting... When I visited Mr. Shamspear's room as a gift. The public water pump outside always freezes at night, so I brought bottled water especially to make it. And this is the result! Never will I touch tea again! Never!
The public pump was frozen, you say? That's not information we've heard before.
That will do, thank you. Now, according to our laws, the defense must have the opportunity to cross-examine witnesses at least once. Therefore, I call upon these witnesses now for a formal testimony. I presume the prosecution has no objections?
None whatsoever, my lord. Begrudgingly, because holy shit, he's gonna pull some shit out of his fucking ass.
Good. Then you will give your account of events on the night in question to the court now. Yeah. Yes, my lord!
Jesus Christ. With the amount of screaming that Soseki does, I don't know if I'll live. The catastrophic night.
It was around 9 o'clock that evening when I visited my neighbor, and I took some tea with me as a gift. We had a heated literary debate over a nice hot drink, after which I went back to my room at around 11. My tea was completely harmless. He couldn't have locked the door behind me otherwise, could he?
How the fuck do you say this? I'm Googling this. Hold on. S-T-R-Y. What the fuck is it? Strychnine? Pronunciation.
Strychnine.
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 Strychnine. Okay. Strychnine. That would have been nice to know. Who is messaging me? What is this? Okay. Sorry, I had to read a thing a friend sent. Okay!
Strychnine takes some time to have an effect on the body. People don't keel over immediately after taking it. The victim would have been perfectly able to lock the door after his guests left. The argument still stands.
Okay.
Yes, I see. It all seems relatively straightforward.
So we don't have an autopsy in this trial, do we? Well, that fucking sucks. We don't have any sort of autopsy. Because my immediate thing would have been, oh, well, the trial, the autopsy says instant death, because that's a classic for Ace Attorney, but regardless.
Yes, I see. It all seems relatively straightforward.
Excuse me, but that testimony does raise one rather crucial point, I think. Mr. Natsume claims his tea to have been harmless. Presumably, though, the teacups have been examined for traces of poison, haven't they? Why didn't I think of that? I love his outfit. I actually love that outfit a lot.
Well, as it happens, no. We haven't been able to. Did I hear you correctly, Inspector? Scotland Yard has failed to examine the suspect's sustenance? Or substance? What the fuck did I just say?
How could you have overlooked something so important? Isn't that the first thing you should have done? Oh my god. My learned Nipponese friend is falsely said blah 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 blah. The inspector said Scotland Yard was unable to examine the tea. Not that it was overlooked. Unable? Why? It's simple enough. There was none left. Not a drop. Someone must have been very thirsty indeed. With current scientific techniques, it's not possible to test for poison under such circumstances. We only need a drop, but that one drop does actually have to exist, funny enough. Alright, smartass. It does have to exist, funnily enough, motherfucker. The lack of examination notwithstanding, it appears nothing other than the tea passed the victim's lips on the night in question.
I see. Thank you. The matter is clear.
Cast your eyes over the jury, my learned friend. What? You can see it in their faces, I'm sure. The recognition of the accused's guilt. That man's a robot. That man's a robot. He does not feel emotion, and this is an old man who doesn't know where he is. That's all. Your client's fate is all but sealed. In mere moments from now, you will lose, and your compatriot will be damned for all eternity. He's right. I can feel all 6 jurors looking daggers at me. Slap! I actually love this fit. Oh my god, I love this fit. But I can't let them beat me down. I won't.
Counsel for the defense, proceed with your cross-examination.
Yes, my lord! Here we go. Also, there's a puddle. Okay. The catastrophic night. I'm just gonna press everything because I don't really... It was around 9 o'clock that evening when I visited my neighbor, and I took some tea with me as a gift. Hold it! I mean, I don't see anything wrong with it, but I feel like pressing everything will be good. Were you and your neighbor good friends then?
No! We weren't friends! Not at all! Not at all! Never! Ever!
A simple no would have sufficed. Oh, he's not pushing anything up. Then, why did you decide to pay him a visit? Mr. Shakespeare fancies himself as having great literary knowledge. As a fellow scholar of English literature, we find much to talk about together. So your friend... Come now, no Nipponese could understand the finer points of English literature. Dude, he's just racist! I remember this was like a big theme in the first game. Everyone's just racist to the Japanese, bro. Like, what the fuck? And on the night in question, that was the topic of conversation as well, I presume? It was the day of my last trial, when I was acquitted. I had just arrived back in my lodgings. I need a drink. Shit's already kicking my ass. When I ran into Mr. Shakespeare outside on the street, that was around 6 o'clock. We exchanged one or two pleasantries, but it soon turned into a heated discussion. He was on his way out at the time, though. So I promised to visit his room that evening at 9 to continue our debate. But did I have ill intentions? No! Not one, not two, not any! Not at all! Never, ever! Oh, it's already taking a toll on my throat. A simple no would have sufficed, I feel. Then tell the court what did happen when you visited the victim's room. Hold it. What do you fucking mean? Do. A literary debate about Shakespeare's works, I think you said, didn't you?
Shakespeare? Ah, very worthy topic of conversation, I must say. Oh, yes, my lord. Romeo and Juliet! Who was stronger?
I'm telling you, they were just fucking power scaling! They were fucking power scaling! This was a Goku versus Superman debate, but about Romeo and Juliet! It was a profoundly pleasurable parley.
Romeo and Juliet?
Who was stronger? I know I'm gonna regret asking this, but how did the debate go? Well, we both agreed that we would reach a conclusion more quickly with a reenactment. So I battled it out.
In a Greco-Roman style, naturally.
What? What the fuck? It's power scaling! That's all this is fucking power scaling!
Well, I know the next TikTok. Mr. Shakespeare had all sorts of costumes in his room for such a contest.
So, when you say a reenactment, you mean you were actually in costume?
He is Romeo, I is Juliet. After a vigorous, wild tussle, as I, Juliet, came out on top. A victory I'll cherish forever! I dare not imagine the terrible scene of carnage. The fact remains that it was you who prepared the tea and took it to the victim. Why the fuck are we entertaining a fucking power scaler? It's just power scaling. I'm not going to imagine this anything else as just like a weeb and a comic book nerd going at it. Fuck. Just arguing if Goku or Superman would win in a fight. That's all this is to me. I boiled water in my room and made a pot to take with me. I'd heard that he was too poor to have tea himself, you see.
Oh, wait, he's got a little guy on his shoulder! Wait, he's got a little guy! Oh my god, that's so cute! It's just a little guy on his fucking shoulder! Oh my god! Okay, sorry, that just really... he's so cute! He's so cute!
Anyways,
It's true, there was no sign of any tea leaves in the man's room. If they edit a sprite to have him, like, petting the little guy, I'm gonna fucking lose my mind.
I want to do something nice. To be friendly. So why is everyone looking at me with such suspicion? My tea was harmless, of course it was! And you do have... And do you have any basis for that statement, witness?
Sorry, I just like the music.
Alden, what do you mean couldn't?
Yes, there was not a drop of tea left in the victim's room anywhere, was there?
That's correct. Anyone would think the fellow had never had a pot of tea before. Must have licked it dry. Which is a pity, because one drop is all we would have needed to analyze it for poison.
Excuse me? And you say that you returned home to your room at 11 o'clock, Mr. Natsume?
Yes, definitely! By heaven and earth, I swear it! The landlord was able to verify that, as it happens. He confirmed that the defendant went back to his room at 11 at night. And how was the landlord able to attest to this? He, said it was the lamps, I believe. The lamps, Inspector?
When tenants return to their rooms and start using gas, the lamps in other parts of the house flicker. Yes, Mr. Garadep seems to pay a lot of attention to the comings and goings of his tenants.
So they one key to Mr. Shakespeare's room. I know that for certain. So he must have locked the door himself from inside the room. The victim has confirmed that to be the case, yes? So I'm right! My tea was harmless, completely harmless! If you take poison, you die! Everyone knows that! It's not that simple, I'm afraid. What do you mean? What? Why? What up? What up?
Strict... I already forget how you say it. Googling again! Hold on. I should just leave the tab open at this point. I should just leave the... Strychnine. Got it. Bro, I'm so smart. Strychnine takes some time, blah, 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 blah. Press.
How long does it take for symptoms to appear then?
According to the coroner I was speaking, or the coroner, not quarter. What the fuck? According to the coroner I was speaking to at the yard, about 30 minutes after the fucking poison's consumed, then the victim suffers violent convulsion. Holy shit, I can read.
Oh god, my headphones are falling off. There we go. Sorry, I just need to pick something up. Then the victim suffers violent convulsions, cramping, and stiffness. But eventually dies from asphyxiation. I can read that, but I can't read strychnine. So there's a 30-minute interval between when the poison is ingested and the onset of symptoms. Seem to be a lot of different types of poison in the world, that's for sure. Oh dear. Death by poisoning again? It's always so awful. 30 minutes is a long time. Certainly long enough for the victim to have locked the door behind the accused after he left. You can't deny that. And it further degrades Saseki-san's alibi. I have the medical report from the doctor who examined the victim here, my lord. It spells it out, really. The accused is the only person who could have done it.
Good! Give me that so I can prove you wrong.
Very well. The court will add the report to the court record as evidence.
Victim's medical report has been entered into the court record. A report issued by Scotland Yard's medical officer. It obviously mentions the poison as well as other details gleaned during the police investigation. Oh yes, it says here, delayed onset of symptoms. Cool, let me read it myself. Victim, William Shamspeare, 31. Cause of coma, ingestion of small quantity of strychnine. Toxic effects present 30 minutes after ingestion. High likelihood of the substance having been mixed with the tea the victim was drinking, but no sample could be obtained for testing. Investigative conclusions. The poisoning incident occurred at 1:30 a.m. on 21st of February. Well, that's already wrong, I think. Assessed from the victim's pocket watch. It appears to have broken when the man collapsed after delay. But that's still wrong, because if it's 30 minutes, they would have been there at 1 a.m. But that's already... no. Appears to have broken when the man collapsed after the delayed onset of symptoms. No container from the poison was found at the scene. What color is strychnine? The thing's gone. The thing. There was a thing here and it's gone. Oh! What is it, Mr. Naruto? This bar of soap. When we first found it, I could have sworn there was some sort of round disc in the depression just here. A reddish one. Yes, you're right. I remember it too. But now, the depression is completely empty. Where could the disc have gone? Oh. So... okay, what? Cheap bar of soap that was discovered outside Mr. Shamspeare's window. A little reddish medallion, like the one I just dropped, from the center has mysteriously vanished. Okay. Okay, well that's the thing. Let me grab the thing I dropped. Ah, there we go. Strychnine is white, at least in its powder form, it's white. Okay. Well... oh! White powder? Like that? Like that right there? Whoever opened this envelope didn't bother with the letter opener or scissors, did they? Yes, whoever opened it was clearly someone with an unrefined temperament. And judging from the angle of the rip here, the person in question must have been right-handed. Mrs. Otto, I think perhaps someone's been reading too much of The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. You can never read too much of it, Mr. Naruto. Never! We can't deny that that is a white oh. Okay, maybe it's not a white powder, but I'm convinced that that is important. I'm convinced that's important. There's no way it isn't. If strychnine actually is a white powder, and there's just conveniently a white rim around this, granted, I don't like that it's a darker color over here, but if like, I'm just saying, bro, it's a possibility. It's a actual possibility. Okay. Alright, delayed onset of... Great! But we've... Okay, hold on. The victim would have been perfectly able to lock the door after his guest... Okay. But he was there at 9. It was around 9 o'clock that evening when I visited my neighbor. Okay, I'm gonna save real quick. I'm not gonna reload the save. Like, I'm not gonna, like, cheat with this. But, like... this is right? Objection. What the fuck do you mean, game? He said he was there at 9 and the poisoning happened at 1. The fuck? The last statement was contradictory in a number of ways, I think you'll find.
In a number of ways, you say?
That's right, my lord. In a number of ways.
Perhaps it would serve you well to concentrate your efforts on one contradiction at a time, Counsel.
I made a bit of a mess for that. A bit of a mess of that. In a number of ways, actually. A number of ways, it's funny. It was around 9 o'clock that evening when I visited my neighbor and I took some tea with me as a gift. But that completely disproves the part of this where it says that it happened at 1:30. Because for that to have happened... No, game, you're full of shit. I hated literally a nice hot drink, after which I went back to my room at around 11. Oh, it's this one then? Is that what you're saying? Objection. Yeah, okay, because okay, yeah, okay, got it. Mr. Natsume, you say it was 11 p.m. when you left to return to your room, correct?
Yes!
And Inspector Gregson, can we rely on the information in the medical report unconditionally?
Of course we can. There's no problem with that report, Sunshine.
Good. Look at my smug face. I know what the fuck is up. And my little mouse friend also knows what the fuck. I love him. I'm sorry. That is the... I love it. Actually, I think there's a very big problem. Because there's a chronological inconsistency between it and the defendant's testimony.
A chrono what? What are you on about?
According to this report, the victim must have consumed the poison at around 1:30 in the morning. And yet, the defendant, Mr. Natsume, left the victim's room at 11. Yes, that's right. There's more than 2 hours of missing time there. In other words, if there was poison in the tea that Mr. Natsume brought to the victim's room, how could the victim have fallen ill to it 2.5 full hours after the defendant left? Wait, they did the exact same thing. Wait, let me clip that real quick. I want to see that again. It looked funny. They do the exact... that's fucking great. I love that. Alright, I'm gonna delete that now. I'm gonna delete that now, but I find it very funny. Ignore the Spider-Man photo. I like going into photo mode. Anyways,
the defense's argument is entirely reasonable. How do you respond, Lord Van Zykes?
Time to become an alcoholic again. You know, my classic character trope. Every prosecutor has one. Francisca has the whip. Gardo has his fucking laser beam. And coffee, I have alcohol. Pray forgive the discourtesy if my mind has wandered. I was considering what cuisine would best complement the contents of my hollowed chalice this luncheon. Oui? How could it have happened, you ask? Fuck this glass! I do hate to shatter illusions, but my Nipponese friend appears to be chasing a phantom idea. A phantom? That's in Dual Destinies! Not this game. Van Zykes, you're in the wrong game. Is it so hard to imagine that the victim drank his tea after the accused had left? For example, at the time stated in the medical report. Yes, at around 1:30. Objection! Fuck you! Mr. Natsume brought the tea with him to drink together with his neighbor. And in Japan, there is a well-known saying. Drink tea while it's hot! Objection! Objection! We're not in Japan, you fucking loser! And in my country, there's an even more apt saying. Fuck you! There is nothing more refreshing than cold tea. The point is, if there were such a long gap, There may be other ways to explain how the victim came to be poisoned. Other possibilities.
What sort of possibilities, Counsel?
Well, for example, the man could have had another visitor.
Another visitor. It's a very bold assertion, my learned friend, from someone who has nothing to substantiate it.
Or, the victim could have taken the poison of his own volition.
You suggest this may have been a suicide, Counsel?
What the fuck? Mr. Shamspear has categorically denied suicide. The idea can and must be discounted.
Objection! He did the... But he could be lying!
He could be lying. In an Ace Attorney game. Right. Right!
Is something wrong, Lord Van Zykes?
I was listening to the sound of the carriage pulling up outside the courtroom. Pray, forgive the discourtesy.
Carriage? What carriage?
It would seem that the key player in this case has just arrived.
Hold it!
Is it gonna be Shamspear?
Hold it!
Or whatever the fuck. Oh yeah, it's definitely him.
Out, brief candle. Life's but a walking shadow. Oh my god, you have to be so gaudy about everything. A poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. The victim himself is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury.
Motherfucker nothing. Means nothing. Fuck you.
Who, sir, are you?
William Shamspear, my lord. Alas, 'twas I, undone by these bitter events. I am the victim.
What's he doing here?
What do you mean? Of course he showed up to his own fucking trial. He didn't die, so naturally he's going to be there.
The prosecution seeks to call this gentleman to the stand. With his testimony, my learned friend's futile resistance will be utterly crushed.
Okay. Calling him as a witness? Well, no shit.
Very well, Counsel. I grant your request with interest. I'm curious to discover what the court shall hear from the victim himself. I don't like how his face is structured.
Happy am I, Shamspear, to regale thee with my tale of woe, my lord.
But I still have my own tale to tell, my own tale of worse woe. I can regale the court with the tale of my perfect innocence in perfect English. That will do, Mr. Natsume. Let the court now hear from the victim.
Alright.
You're such a fucking piece of shit. Popeye! Alright. So that's Mr. Shamspear. Who's the other man beside him? It's fucking Popeye! Yes, I feel sure that we've caught a glimpse of that man before. On TV.
State your names and occupation for the court, please, witnesses.
A writer of words so sweet they do scent the breeze. An inventor of ideas so profound they compose the earth. The unrivaled poet and the unmatched scribe, William Shakespeare. With a great bard to be recalled to life anew. Io, what a magnificent man. Good fellows, I am he who ponders such a miracle, William Shamspear.
Oh, God, how the
Adrian B. Meterman. Adrian.
I'm trying to figure out the pun.
B. Metterman.
Adrian Metterman. I got nothing. How the fuck do you do a fucking Popeye voice, too? I have to do Popeye. Just...
You wouldn't hit my spinach, you motherfucker, huh? No, the name's Metterman. Adron B. Metterman.
Yeah, that works. Oh my fucking god.
I work for the Altamont Gas Company, East End branch office.
It's not perfect, but it's kind of good. Ah, I remember now. It was yesterday on Briar Road. Oh yeah, she's right. It's him. My spinach. You know to the fucking soap, motherfucker. I'm referencing the fucking Doopus Goopus video where it was something like everything versus Goku, and Superman's arm just like breaks off screen. He's like, what? Why did it stop?
My spinach, you motherfucker.
I love that video so much. What's that man doing over there? Looks like he's trying to see in Soseki-san's lodgings. Is something wrong, Mr. Naruhodo? Excuse me, could we have a word?
Yeah. Bye.
Dun, dun, dun. Yes, we spotted him outside Mr. Garridub's house that morning. Do you remember that little mouse friend? Yeah! I am making this mouse a character. His name is now Little Mouse Man. Fuck you. He's a gas company employee? What does this have to do with his escape?
So, Mr. William Shakespeare, you are the victim in this miserable affair, correct?
Oh heaven, oh hell.
Why the fuck was that?
We'll do a redo, hold on. Oh heaven, oh hell, do you command me to remember that sweet poison that didst cross me and cross mine innocent lips? I subpoenaed him for the trial, with his doctor's permission, naturally. Hearing the testimony of the aggrieved will remove any room for doubt from the juror's mind, I'm sure. Behold, you have only to arrange the letters of my name to see that me's a seraph, an angel indeed. Me's I guess. Thus be I noble of mind, sweet of nature, and verily honest of heart, as all heavenly angels be. Because there isn't a less contrived meaning in your name. No, not at all. The jurors seem to be very moved by this man, I'm afraid. They're actually taking this seraph anagram idea seriously? What was that? Something about angels?
Thank you, witnesses, for your illuminating introductions.
But, my lord, the man next to Mr. what's the man next to Mr. Shakespeare doing here? The gasman, I mean.
What, me? Well now. Allow me to enlighten my learned friend. You recall, I presume, in your earlier impudence, when you suggested that the victim had another visitor to his room on the night in question, and moreover, that the victim is a compulsive liar?
What? No, I didn't quite say that. This young chin stroker is here to controvert your... Yeah, that's right. Controvert your wild claims, conclusively. It is not so. Is that not so, Mr. Miederman?
Hang on, no. I'm just here.
Great. Thank you, Popeye.
I hereby call for your formal testimony.
I want to see what the fuck he looks like on the thing. There he is. Adrian B. Miederman, a young man who works for Altamont Gas. He's a witness to the incident. Right. Okay.
You will tell the court as lucidly as possible what happened on the night in question.
One may smile and be a villain. And yes, it doth pain me, but let the truth be spoken. The truth of that wintry night, my discontent. The wintry night of my discontent. It's just so fun to say. Also, give me a quick second as I need to clear my nose. I will be right back. And because I never get to use the screen, I'll just put this here. I'll be right back. It won't take long, I promise.
Okay, I think I'm good. I think I couldn't find the fucking paper towel thing, so or not paper towel, the fucking tissues. But yeah, we got it. All right, the wintry night of my discontent. The snow lay about. My neighbor did cometh in the evening, bearing a gift of tea. But merry bitter was his drink, and when he left, I did fall prostrate? I did fall prostrate on my table. 'Twas the tea alone did pass my lips that late hour, not else. I was outside this bloke's window in the freezing cold all night, keeping an eye on his room. No one else visited his room but that short little round-backed Eastern fella. Great. Wait, what did you just say? You were keeping an eye on Mr. Shamspeare's room all night? That's right. Of course, this bloke's window is all but blocked up, isn't it? But there's a little gap with the bricks where you can see into the room. So I spent the night trying to keep my teeth from chattering as I peered into through that.
The question is, sir, why?
Well, now, that's because he's on my list.
Your what? What a piece of work is a man. Wherefore wouldst thou not share in wonderment? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? This buzzing busybody hath not part in this play. I pray thee, pay him no heed, make no more ado about his tedious words.
What did you say about me?
Calm yourself. This court is concerned with what happened on the night in question. Nothing more.
Indeed, that is so.
And, as the testimony we have just heard clearly reveals, there is no one other than the accused present at the time who could have carried out this crime. Alright, fuck all of you.
Well, I believe this may be the final testimony of the trial.
Bitch, it's testimony number 2.
Now, counsel, the defense may proceed with the cross-examination.
Yes, my lord! My lord! Ah! Cross-examination. Alright, the wintry night of my blah blah blah. The snow lay about, my neighbor did cometh in the evening bearing a gift of tea. What do you mean bearing a gift? To be clear, by neighbor you are referring to the defendant, Mr. Natsume? How indeed, sire. Perchance thou wouldst that I call him the man from upstairs? And at what time did the mustachioed Nipponese visit you in your room? Our meeting was promised for the hour of 9, and Io did he come to tender a gift of fragrant tea.
Details which are in accordance with the defendant's own testimony, yes.
And we were broiled in such a literacy debate as history has not seen before. By which I presume he means their discussion about who was stronger, Romeo or Juliet, their power scaling. I, Shamspeare, did play the part of young Romeo, whilst my neighbor played the fair Juliet. Each of us dressed as would our characters be to bring weight upon our merry experiment.
I dare not imagine the scene.
Frailty, that thy name is, woman. Canst thou imagine how dismayed I was? Yes, I had heard of the Eastern art of jujitsu, but never, it's never, but ne'er. What? Ne'er did I dream 'twould be a skill practiced by the commonly maiden. Juliet beat Romeo up. This is not helping our case. I believe the court has heard enough about your earth-shattering literary debates.
Perhaps you could reiterate your statement about the tea that the accused brought to your room. My liege, I am thy servant. Gladly I would do thy bidding. What the fuck? But Mary bitter was his drink, and when he left, I did fall I almost said prostate, because that's what I agreed. Hold it! Hold it! What do you mean prostrate? Let me stop you there. Mr. Natsume left your room at 11 o'clock, but it wasn't until after 2 that the poison made you collapse. That amounts to more than 3 hours of missing time. He's dancing to the music. If the defendant had really put the poison in your tea, that 3-hour window of time is something you're going to have to explain. Gladly, 'tis an easy task. Sorry? What? I did drink the tea not while my guest didst tarry, but after he took leave from me. Faith, 'twas stone cold, but at 1 hour post midnight, verily my lips parched. Okay, but that's still an hour. That doesn't sound normal. Nay, 'tis quite an ordinary, sire. After all, thou wouldst recall our fiery debate. Amidst such argument, there'd be no time for fiery tea. Romeo and Juliet again. And who was stronger? Mr. Shamspeare, in summary, allow me to confirm. Did you not come here with the intention of naming your attacker? But of course, my liege. 'Twas the stooped lover of words did attempt to shuffle me in of this mortal coil. We all know what that means. 'Twas the tea alone did pass my lips late hour, nothing else. So, you didn't have any kind of evening meal? Dinner, supper? Ha! Fie on luxury, fie on gluttony. To eat thrice daily is but a waste of time. Sorry, I also very much disagree. I would take my belly when we're full. No more after that and the sun doth rot. What the fuck is he doing? Whoa, most heroic eating habits, I must say. Seriously, what the fuck is that? Okay. Night and day do I fill my hours with learned study of the great bard and playwright. Hence is that there doth not be a chamber breathed in the costumes of mine art. That would appear to be the case, as even a rodent was found starved to death in your room. Now I think of it, it's not just food that was conspicuously missing from that room, is it? Don't recall seeing a single player script anywhere. For I have devoured them all. You've eaten them. Every word be within my skull. Didst thou imagine otherwise? Right. That wasn't misleading at all. Now, could you turn around, do you think? Which brings us to the conclusion that the only way the poison could have passed the victim's lips is in the tea. Oh my god. I was outside this bloke's window in the freezing cold all night, keeping an eye on his room. Hold it, what do you mean keeping an eye on his room? But the windows of that house have all been filled in. A historical artifact of the now defunct window tax. Yeah, you're right there. All bricked up horribly, just like me. I am a fucking child! But as it happens, there's a little part of the brickwork at the bottom of the corner that has been opened up. I was looking in through the gap. Yes, there were a few bricks loose, weren't there? And for some strange reason, a couple of bars of soap. Holy fucking shit. I'm yawning. And for some strange reason, a couple of bars of soap lined up on the ledge outside as well. And I'm then going around poking my chin in other people's business, especially on freezing cold nights.
But them's my orders, so that's what I'll keep doing. As long as there's breath in my body.
Your chin, sir. What's with all the theatricals today?
Out of interest, Mr. Meterman, after the accused had left and returned to his own lodgings, did you see the victim leave the room at all? No, he never left. He was in the room the whole time, as far as I'm concerned.
Dude, it's great, because if I stutter a little bit, it just adds to the character of him just being Popeye. So it works.
And we can therefore discount the possibility of suicide.
How can you be sure of that?
The police carried out a thorough investigation of the scene and found no receptacle for the poison. And since we know the victim didn't leave his room and hence did this...
What the fuck is happening?
And hence didn't dispose of the poison's container himself, it's clear that this was no attempted suicide. Only the culprit could have removed the receptacle. The receptacle, whatever.
Ah, yes. Lucidly explained, counsel. Thank you.
It really was. Can't argue with the logic. Hey, no one else visited his room but that short little round-backed Eastern fellow.
Hold it! Hold it! You make it sound like a fucking thing on National Geographic. You say a short little round-backed Eastern fella, so you can't be sure that it was the defender's gun?
Holy fucking shit, grasping at straws! How many other short little round-backed, not black, Jesus, round-backed Nipponese with a mustache do you think there are in London? Well, of course, it's only a narrow gap and it was quite dark, so I didn't notice the mustache. But he showed up at around 9, so I'm pretty sure of myself.
And when the person you saw arrived, did he and Mr. Shamspear drink tea together?
Nah, sorry. I couldn't say.
Why not?
Because I couldn't see in the room out that well, could I? But what I didn't see in the silhouette of the little round black fella was in a pretty dress. Then the pair of them started some kind of wrestling match. I tell you, I didn't know what to make of it.
I suppose... that was the Romeo and Juliet championship battle getting underway.
Mr. Meterman, allow me to confirm one final time. Apart from the accused, can you state with certainty that no one else visited the victim on the night in question? No question, Gashman's honor.
Hold it! Who the fuck is saying hold it? Natsume?
Oh, what the? Oh, great!
My lord! Goodness me! Yes, Mr. Foreman? I've kept my mouth shut and listened up till now, but this has gone long enough. Are you all with me?
Yes!
Are we to understand that you ladies and gentlemen of the jury are in agreement with one another?
Imagine if they just said innocent right now. Imagine if they just all threw a curveball, just like, he's innocent, he's innocent, he's innocent, he's innocent, he's innocent, and then they all just, blah, blah, blah. All right, case over.
That you've reached a unanimous decision?
Too right we have.
Are you all with me?
Yes! Wait, no! The defense is in the middle of a cross-examination!
To be honest, I was holding out a bit of hope for you, young man. Especially after you identified those few hours that followed the accused leaving the victim's room.
Yes, the 3 missing hours, as you put it. But in the end, what difference do they make? None, as far as I can see. And since that's now apparent, there's really no reason to delay our decision any longer.
Like I was saying before, if I don't take 5 bob home with me tonight, the missus will blow it up.
Where's that? Sorry, I didn't quite catch what you said.
Very well. Let the court be apprised to you.
Motherfucker!
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will state your leanings as to the defendant's culpability. Great.
Guilty.
Great.
Guilty.
Great.
Guilty.
Great.
Guilty.
Great.
Guilty.
Great. Awesome. All of you? Well, it would appear that the jury is indeed unanimous. Alcohol. Alcoholic problem. So, this time at least, it seems justice will be done. All's well that ends well, as they say. This calls for a toast, I feel. To the guilty being punished.
Ah! Oh, he's like a bee. Oh, he's like a bee. Get him, Miss Naruhodo, please. The trial isn't over yet. What do you mean, Miss Usato? You are an idiot. What about the information found in the Encyclopedia of British Law I have? Or my book of everything. That obscure right belongs to the defense in these situations. Remember?
A summation examination. Yes, that's right. We don't have a jury in Japanese courts, of course. But here in British Court of Law, we can reverse the decisions of the majority of the jurors. We can force the trial to continue. This trial can't end now. Are you ready, little mouse friend? Yeah! Whatever it takes. I just can't let that happen!
The defense moves to invoke its right to a summation examination, my lord.
Oh my fucking god, why am I not surprised at my learned Nipponese friend's inability to admit defeat? You chose to cling desperately to some archaic rule you barely comprehend instead of accepting the truth. Certainly no other defense counselor in recent times has exercised the right to a summation examination, because they all know that once the jury's mind is set, it cannot be altered. Nevertheless, the right remains and must be upheld. Yeah, you say that the fucking rights, yeah, like they fucking won't change their opinion. Yeah, look at last time, dumbass. I didn't even read that. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. The defense counsel's request is granted. This court will proceed with a summation examination as outlined in the Encyclopedia of British Law.
Thank you, my lord.
Are you and your fellows prepared, Mr. Foreman? Believe me, my lord, we all know about this young lad's tenacity. We are ready for it. Very well. In that case, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I hereby call upon each of you to state the grounds upon which you find the defendant guilty of the crime for which he stands accused. Great. Okay. Judicial findings. Jurors' connections. The victim may not be well off, but he's a noble man and straight up. There's no reason to doubt the man.
Well, I do declare the good gentleman has no reason to lie. In fact, I think he's rather splendid.
Just look at the accused by comparison. He's Japanese, stoops all the while, and has a mustache. Very fishy.
There's no evidence to suggest the gangling actor is a fraudsman. For now, at least.
I really don't care, I just need the trial to end quickly.
3 hours of missing time is nothing when you reach my age, you know? Nothing at all. And I'm gonna take a screenshot of this for my own fucking sick humor.
I knew it. Every single one of them seems completely convinced. Yeah, no shit.
It would seem that all the jurors have come to the conclusion that Mr. Shamspeare is a fine, upstanding, and honest citizen.
If you ask me, they've all been bewitched by his strange theatrical movements.
And sadly, nothing Mr. Natsume has said appears to have registered at all.
Well, here goes. Let's not forget, I've pleaded with the jury on Soseki-san's behalf before, and it worked. So you never know.
Before we begin, it might be an idea for me to remind you exactly how a summation examination works, Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh.
Well, you're still very new to British law, after all.
That's true, I suppose, and Soseki-san's fate is entirely in my hands now, too. So there's a chance I might have forgotten some crucial detail. Perhaps I should hear Susato-san out. I wonder. Should I let her talk to me through it again or not bother? No need, bitch! Thank you for the kind offer, Miss Susato, but I've been through plenty of these summation examinations already now. I think it's important that we don't delay the start any longer than necessary.
Of course, I understand. And I'm quite sure you're right. If you're confused by anything at point, you can turn to me for advice whenever you like. I'll be here for you.
The key to this is really listening carefully to each juror's statement. Finding two that are contradictory and pitting the corresponding jurors against each other. Sorry. Without further ado, please, counsel, proceed with the summation examination. Yes, my lord. Hello. Jury examination. The defense's rebuttal. I mean, the victim may not be well off, but he's a noble man and straight up, there's no reason for doubt. Well, I do declare the good gentleman has no reason to lie. In fact, I think he's rather splendid. Just look at the accused by comparison. He's Japanese, stoops all the while, and has a mustache, very fishy. There's no evidence to suggest the gangling actor is a fraudsman, for now at least. I really don't care, I just need this trial done quickly. 3 hours of missing time is nothing when you reach my age. Yeah. Where's my phone? Whatever. The victim, blah blah. Hold it! Well, there are plenty of people in London who seem noble but poor. Couldn't some of them also be liars? I have no doubt about it. Like that shaky client of yours, for example. Absolutely not! Mr. Natsume is no liar. Look, the point is, the only thing that passed the victim's lips that night was the Japanese man's tea. When you take the gasman's testimony into account, as well as the truth, couldn't it be any clearer? Well, that's alarmingly logical. But let me be frank here. I'm a gentleman with a gentleman's values. If it turns out that the old Shakespearean chum is a rotten liar after all, I'd gladly change my decision about the defendant. And I'm sure my fellow gentlemen of the jury would do the same. Isn't that right? Well, yes, perhaps. Though I don't see it happening.
Who's that? Elderly gent on the end here, you know. You'll have to speak up.
Look, I really don't care about all this nonsense. I just need this trial to be over. How many gentlemen do we actually have on the jury, then? Alright, sir. I may hold you on that. Don't forget what you said. Huh. Alright, if you can show me that that victim is a liar, I'll reconsider my position. Well, I do declare the good gentleman has no reason to lie. In fact, I think he's rather splendid. Hold it, what do you mean splendid? Are you saying that you believe the man to be trustworthy because he's rather splendid?
No, that's not what I said. The point is, the man is the victim here. What reason would he have to lie? And yes, he is rather splendid.
So you say, yet again.
Meanwhile, the man who stands accused behaves so suspiciously. It's exhausting to look at him. I'm afraid he's not splendid at all.
Splendid logic there, madam. Thank you so much. Okay, just say he's Japanese, blah, blah, blah. Hold it, what do you mean, stoops? No. Not one of those things is a reason to find the man guilty. But he is fishy. There's no point dancing around the fact. He's Japanese. He has a mustache, and he stoops. You see, you arrive at the conclusion in just 3 steps. 3 steps, like a waltz, in fact. You know, the more I think about it, the more this trial seems like a dance. You seem to be several steps ahead of yourself, though.
and you're on the wrong foot. No, there's nothing but circumstantial evidence here. There's no actual proof of the defendant's guilt. But the victim's version of events backed up by what the big-chinned man next to him says, isn't it? 1, he saw the Japanese man there. 2, he saw no one else. And 3, he saw the Japanese man there. Oh, that's another 3 steps. All this really does seem more and more like a waltz, doesn't it? Right, and the prosecution will waltz its way to victory if I let you speak much more. Dun, 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 dun. There's no evidence to suggest the gangling actors or fraudsmen, not now at least. Hold it! A fraudsman? What do you mean by that, madam? It really is a most troublesome problem for the company. Most irritating. We can be absolutely certain that a customer is stealing from us, but without hard evidence, we can't even threaten to take action for fear of being sued. I'm sorry, you've lost me a little there. Who are you? I'm the wife of Augustus Altamont, owner of the Altamont Gas Company.
Good gracious! Altamont gas, you say?
Gas is the future of energy in this country and around the globe, but proper handling is essential. As I'm sure a employee from the East End branch office would be first to agree. Absolutely, Lady Quitterby, gotta be used properly. Altamont gas is the best in the world, of course. Ah, I think we may have solved the mystery of the bow from earlier, Mr. Naruhodo. Right, he bowed in defense to his employer's wife, didn't he? So, would I be right in assuming that the reason Mr. Meterman was watching what Mr. Shamspear was up to in his room, I'm afraid that there's no end to the lengths that the population of the East End will go in order to steal our gas. So I really have no choice when the company identifies somebody as a possible fraudsman. But to dispatch a worker to watch the suspect day and night. We're very thorough in our investigations. So you mean Mr. Shamspear is... I wouldn't come out and say it in public. But you can finish that sentence with a grubby little gas thief. You have noticed the public gallery in here, have you? The eye of man hath no heard. The ear of man hath no seen. Faith wouldn't... Who messaged me? Oh. Faith wouldst thou wound me with thy words, were I to let my penetrate their skin. But seraphs hear not insults, no, only choirs of angels and songs. We may not have evidence yet, but my workers won't stop buzzing around until they find it. And when they do, you'll find yourself blasted back to your angelic heights in the Altamont gas explosion. So Mr. Shamster has been stealing gas. We're just gonna ignore that blatant death threat. I wonder, juror number 4, if you wouldn't mind adding that information to your statement? My pleasure. Was it the bit about ripping that thief apart you enjoyed? A little before that part about abject violence, if that's not too much. Yes, of course. And there's our first contradiction. This could be it! This could shift the balance! The victim puts on a fine performance, but in reality it's a common thief. Yep, there it is. Objection! Objection! These two statements clearly contradict each other!
Good gracious! To whose statements do you refer, counsel?
Juror number 1.
What are you yelling about, lad?
I presume you've heard juror number 4's statement made by the wife of the owners of Altamont Gas.
Yeah, well, yes.
The victim, who you claim to be noble, straight-up man, in fact, turns out to be a common thief.
So the good lady says, but there's no evidence, is there? You and I both heard the same say as much.
It's true, we don't have any evidence as such, just yet. But the claims aren't baseless, you know.
What?
You heard me. seeing as his operation has already been compromised. I would suggest that the court hears testimony from our East End branch office employee over there. Do whatever you say, my lady. Gasman's on, or Gasman's on, or whatever the fuck. Me my spinach, motherfucker. Juror number 1, you say you're a man of your word. If I could show that Mr. Shamspear was a liar, you assured me that you would reconsider your decision about the defendant's guilt. Yes, I did say that. And as a man of my honor, I'll hold to it. As I'm sure the other gentlemen of the jury will. Me? Oh, well, yes. Now that we've found out the man's a liar, perhaps we ought to consider the matter further.
Well, if I'm perfectly honest, I haven't heard half of what you've all been saying. So, if this means you'll recap a few points, that would suit me down to the ground.
Oh no, I'm having any part of this. I want this trial over and done with. In that case, I shall change my leaning.
So, Mr. William Shamspear, if that is your real name, we of the jury demand to know exactly what kind of man you really are.
1, 2, 3, 4, and the majority is on my side, ladies and gentlemen. Therefore, the trial continues. That's 4 jurors. 4 for not guilty. Yes, Mr. Naruto. Victory! Except it's definitely not victory.
Order! Order! Well, this is quite extraordinary, I must say. As a result of the defense's summation examination, the jury's leaning has changed. Now, only 2 jurors say guilty, whilst 4 say not guilty. I therefore declare this court to be in a state of disaccord and order the trial to continue.
Fuck yeah, baby. Fuck yeah. Oh my fucking god. Fuck you! You have spoiled the bouquet, Mr. Shamspear. The ladies and gentlemen of the jury now find they are unable to trust you, the victim. But you gods will give us some faults to make us men. So God mend me, I do swear. This gasman speaketh that which concerns him most, naught but gas, naught but thin air. It's probably right? It burneth bright a while, but it hath no substance, and it doth reek foul. Oi, what did you say to me, you motherfucker? Tell me, motherfucker, kick your fucking ass.
Do I take it, Mr. Shamspear, that you deny the allegations of the gas thievery?
Most heartily, my lord. Hast thou forgot? I am a seraph, an angel. I am Azathoth, whatever. Noble of mind, sweet of nature, and verily, honest of heart. You flowery-mouthed pompous beanhole, just cause I haven't got the evidence yet, motherfucker. Mr. Shamspear, if in fact you are not noble of mind, sweet of nature, or honest of heart, if you are a liar, then your testimony should have no sway in this courtroom.
It is my considered opinion that at a present time, no other possible culprit of the crime has been identified. All the testimony heard by the court thus far heavily implicates the defendant. In short, it would not be unreasonable at this stage for me to rule on the case.
Oh no.
However, in light of the fact that the jury has expressed concern about the fidelity of the witness, I believe it would be inappropriate for the court not to pursue the point further.
Fuck this shit! I assure you, my lord, that would be a waste of the court's time. The gas and this case are unrelated. Juror number 4? Yes? Didn't you say before that although you had no hard evidence to prove this man has been stealing gas, you have strong grounds for suspecting him? That's right, we do. Don't we, worker?
Absolutely, Lady Quinby. Yes, what's up?
Quinby. Queen Bee.
I fucking hate it here. Very well then, we will hear your testimony now. You will tell the court precisely what you believe the victim, William Shakespeare, has been stealing gas.
Yes, my lord, it'll be my pleasure.
If I may, my lord.
Go ahead, madam.
This worker's testimony may have a significant bearing on the good name of my husband's company. Therefore, I should like to take the stand alongside him in a supervisory role, if you wouldn't mind.
Wahoo! Oh, yeah, sweet as honey. Yeah.
Very well. As an exception, I shall honor your request.
Thank you, my lord.
You wait till the boss gives you an earful. Oh, that's gonna sting. Mark my words.
So, you will both testify before the court on the subject of the illegal consumption of the Altamont... Fuck me! Of the Altamont Gas Company's fuel. I have no idea why I'm so fucking tired.
Yes. Isn't that clear, my good man?
Clear as Altamont Gas, my lady. Which is the cleanest in the world.
So is she coming down there? Or is she just staying up there? Do you think the gas has gone to his head, Mrs. Otto? I think the man is just a very dedicated employee, Mr. Naruhodo. Could be both. Oh yeah, she is down here. Okay, cool. Do I get to actually, like, see her name on the fucking court record thing? I do, yeah. Quinby Altamont. Wife of the... Okay. Okay. Cool.
I'm proud to be the company's East End branch investigator and meter money collection agent. The Altamont gas meter successfully tempered a bits. Each we're going to give the customers about 2 hours of the gorgeous gas. That wasn't me actually just trying to... You know what? Never mind. I was gonna try to defend the stuttering, but never mind.
And yet, the meter in Mr. Shakespeare's room didn't have a single coin in it. The meter doesn't appear to have been tampered with, though. The collection agent has the only key.
Somehow he's using all the flaming gas he wants without paying a penny. If that's not a thief, then what is?
Well, that's a short-ass testimony, too. Okay. God, I need my fucking alcohol.
Pray forgive the Motherfucker. Holy shit! Pray forgive the discourtesy. The irrelevance of this testimony caused me to turn to my hollowed chalice. Damn, he really said your testimony's so fucking stupid you turned him to alcohol, bro. You making him an alcoholic.
What do you mean by that remark, Lord Van Zykes?
I'm a fucking alcoholic now. Did the mustachioed Nipponese poison the gangling excuse for an actor, or didn't he? That is all that should concern this court. And yet, now we must listen to this. Abhorrence. Clearly what separates the vast British Empire and your Eastern Island nation is more than geographical distance. But this could turn out to be a crucial testimony. The cross-examination must go ahead. Fuck this whole bottle. Do what you will. Lord Van Zykes appears to be in a violent mood.
Yes, he does. An attempted poisoning and an incidence of gas theft with no supporting evidence. Is it true that they would appear completely unrelated at first glance? But I wonder, the truth tends to be buried in the most unusual places. Not wrong. And the first step is uncovering it. The first step in uncovering it will be to establish just who and what this man really is. What? Why'd you add what to that? Are you saying that he's a fucking goblin? Or what the fuck are you saying? The Altamont Gas Company. Alright. Let's get this shit. Alright, I'm proud to be a company's East End branch investigator
And meter money collection agent.
Hold it!
So does that mean you enter people's houses in order to empty their gas meters?
That I do. I have to try to catch people when they're in. Then I ask permission to come inside and do my business.
Does that mean you've been into Mr. Natsume's room before as well as that of Mr. Shamspear?
Well, now interesting you should bring that up, because I couldn't believe how little money was in the meter. I mean, how the pair of them survived the winter is beyond me, really is.
Knowing Mr. Natsume, he probably spends all his gas money on books. And then when he's finished reading them, he probably burns them for warmth.
You'll kindly reiterate your statement about the gas meters themselves, Mr. Meterman.
Not much to say, really, but as you wish.
Gas meters search through penny bits each coin, giving customers about 2 hours. Like, I don't know. This puddle is really concerning to me. That feels like something important, but...
Hold it!
So, all London houses that have a gas supply are fitted with these gas meters, are they?
They're the latest model, the height of technology, developed by our company, Altamont Gas.
And anyone who uses our gas will have one of these meters in their property, yes. So, if a 3-pence coin gives 2 hours of gas, most people would use about 3 coins in a night?
A bit more than that usually, if they have both gas lights and gas stoves, that is.
Thinking about it, Sazeki-san doesn't have a fireplace in that room of his, does he? Some people still choose to use candles, of course, and only have gas for heating. Ah, yes, I do remember seeing candles in Mr. Natsume's room, actually. And how does the money in the meter get back to you at the gas company?
Every 3 days, gasmen like me visit properties on the gas supply and empty the meters of coin. Change.
I don't know why I said it like that. I must say, the design and manufacture of the new meter cost the company an awful lot of money. But happily, it did put a stop to people not paying their dues. For the most part. Ah, because they have to pay in advance, you mean? Yes, exactly right. And yet the meter in Mr. Shamspear's room didn't have a single coin in it. Hold it. Out of interest, how long has this been going on?
Weeks and weeks has been pitching gas off our ages.
And you've examined the meter in Mr. Shamspear's room, I take it?
Naturally. We took it off the wall and went over it with the fine-tooth comb. Wait! What if the little thing... Okay, what if the little thing here... That's about coin-sized. What if he's using this to make fake coins that melt? Right? That would make sense, right? That would totally make sense. Right? I don't know. That's my theory right now, at the very least. Naturally, we took off the wall and went over it with a fine-tooth comb. And found nothing suspicious at all, I presume. No, I'm afraid we didn't. Which is exactly why I demanded a new type of meter to be produced. One with an indestructible lock. The Shamspear Special. Sounds like it would have caused an awful lot of But even after all that, the rascal's meter was still empty.
Never forget the humiliation. When I opened up the money box and found a bear. You what? I said. You what? Then, and the look in his face, the smarmy smile of his. Put the meter straight out of the wall and took it back to the office. But you know what? Nothing. Not a trace of being jammed open anywhere. Not a single sign. That's what happened to my salary. It was all halted down to 3 shillings a day, that's what. Life-threatening situation. In a number of ways.
Incidentally, what became of that meter?
Nothing became of it. I've still got it.
Oh, can I have it?
Right here.
No wonder they call you Meterman.
I think it would be prudent for the court to sequester this item while the trial is ongoing. Gas meter. The meter dispenses gas for a set time after a coin is inserted. It sports a very strong lock developed especially with Shamspeare in mind. Definitely. Although at first glance, there doesn't appear to be anything unusual about it. Back, no. It's like that green bit. That's a very sturdy looking padlock, isn't it?
And the money box is sealed with beeswax, too. So if Mr. Sholmes were to get up to any mischief, he'd be found out immediately.
Oh, that was me.
Mr. Naruhodo! Mischief of that kind is not the sort of thing Mr. Sholmes would...
You know you didn't finish that sentence, don't you?
Well, anyway, it's understandable that the gas company would want to safeguard the money that's rightfully theirs.
But it does feel a little over the top, perhaps, doesn't it? Okay, well, it doesn't seem... Oh, something.
Oh, what's... Have you spotted something, Mr. Naruhodo?
Just here. There's a little hole, do you see?
Goodness, you're right. Wouldn't have noticed.
It's not a very neat hole, is it? Not professionally made, I'd say.
So, you think it might have been opened up by Mr. Shamspeare?
Possibly. It seems the people at Altamont Gas must have missed it.
Well, it certainly seems to go all the way through the inside.
Yes. There's no way a coin could fit through there.
That's true, but even so, it seems more than a little suspicious.
I'm figuring it out. So, okay, here's what it is, right? So he uses the bar of soap, puts something in here that when it's left in the cold, freezes. Then he puts it into the gas meter to fake a coin, basically. He makes it look as though there's a coin going in and makes the machine think a coin is going in, but when actuality, nothing is going, or the only thing going in is this weird, like, liquid, this frozen liquid, to which will eventually melt and pour into here, which is why there's a puddle on the ground. Because when he did it this time, he was dead. And he couldn't, like, I don't know, put a fucking bucket or something there. So that's fucking smart as shit. Although, first glance, let's move this along, shall we? Continue with your testimony. Though I would say it has as much value as the contents of that meter. Oomph. I mean, I got the whole thing down pat. It doesn't appear to have been tampered with, though the collection agent has the only key. I'm gonna save. Just because if I end up going stupid mode, I can, like, not have to go too far back. Anyways.
Objection!
Yeah, it's been tampered with. It's been very tampered with, actually. Lady Altamont, I'm afraid to say that this meter clearly does show signs of have being tampered with.
What?
Get away! I've been over and over that thing. I'm telling you, there's nothing wrong with it.
In that case, what do you have to say about the small hole that's been made at the base of the coin box?
Oh, what?
You're right! You're quite right! There's a little hole there. The meter's not supposed to have that! None of the others do! In other words, we can assume that Mr. Shamspear secretly opened this hole himself. Ah! Yes, I wouldn't be all that surprised. But why?
Yeah, why? I mean, it's tiny. I couldn't get a farthing through that.
Lady Altamont, I wonder if you could give the court some more details about your meter design. What sort of details? Well, what I'd specifically like to know is how it's dismantled, how it differentiates coins. That's what I need right now. How does the meter tell the difference between different coins? What do you mean? Well, for example, if someone were to put in a 1 penny coin, that wouldn't work, presumably, would it? No, of course not. So, well, how does this meter know that the coins it's being fed is a threepenny bit, whatever that means? Ah, I see what you're getting at now. The meter tells coins apart by their shape and size, which includes their thickness. Boom! Bam! Pow! A threepenny bit is about 3/4 of an inch in diameter, you see. The coins just won't fit. Ah, I see. It's clearly been very well thought out.
The witness will amend her formal testimony with that information in case it is pertinent.
As you wish, my lord. Present the fucking soap, motherfucker! This statement clearly contradicting yes, undeniably. You say it's undeniable, counsel, but I fail to see any contradiction here at all. Fuck. I think perhaps that it sounds like contradiction. Indeed, you stupid fucking asshole. Time for a rethink. The meter is designed for coins the exact diameter and thickness of the threepenny, but nothing else will fit. But the literal hole shape! Oh, I had to examine it first. Oh, look at this bar of soap. There's a circular depression on the side, about 2 centimeters across. Or 3/4 of an inch. Ah! Do you think? Did find the soap at the scene, didn't we? Yes, there were. Okay, so that's just bullshit. I had to examine it. Okay. But I'm sure that when we first found it, there was some sort of reddish medallion in the middle there. I remember it clearly, yes, but there's no sign of it now. Where could it have gone? Okay, now we present this where she brings up the fucking thing. Okay,
Objection.
there it fucking is. Okay, I was robbed. Let me just confirm something here. If the diameter and thickness were to be correct, the meter would accept any object as if it were a threepenny bit. Is that correct? Yes, that is correct. Well, by something of a coincidence, while we were investigating in Mr. Shamspear's room, we found a particular item that matches the dimensions perfectly. Something the same size as a threepenny bit? What is it? The item in question is this!
What? Have you been inhaling gas at the bar of soap?
It certainly looks nothing like a threepenny bit, I must say.
It looks like I'm going to have to point out exactly what I mean here. Great.
What's so important about the soap is this part here.
Got it!
I got it! Gotcha! You have to turn over the soap to see what I mean. Are you referring to that round depression in the middle of the soap there? That's right, a depression that approximately 3/4 of an inch in diameter. Or in other words, almost exactly the same size as a threepenny bit. Get away!
Does anyone here present have in their possession a threepenny bit? Quickly now, hand over your coins, ladies and gentlemen.
Sounds rather like a highway robbery, doesn't it?
Thanks to a kind member of the public in the gallery, I have a threepenny bit. Now, to see if it fits. Great Scott or some shit. My word! It couldn't be more snug!
Yes, as I suspected. This, without a doubt, is a vital clue to explain how the Altamont Gas Company is being defrauded. Well, I don't believe it! Yep. So, your assertion amounts to what? That some inferior bar of soap has a tentative connection to the theft of gas? Yeah. Yeah. Literally that. The depression in the soap was clearly made by a threepenny bit.
I must concur, at least, that pushing a coin with some force into a poor quality bar of soap, such as this, is a remarkably simple way of replicating the coin's shape.
And then you could use, well, some melted wax or something to pour it into the wound. You can make fake coins in no time. Ooh, we're going in the brain space. This brings all the pieces of the puzzle together. It's the method Mr. Shamspear has been using to steal the gas. That's the missing link. And now if I follow the chain of thought, it's going to bring me to a new explanation for what happened that nobody's considered yet. But this is all nonsense. If the man had been making fake coins, my worker here would have found them when he emptied the meter.
Quite true, Lady Altamont, but in the absence of some black magic that could make them disappear.
I dropped my coin. I see. That's what we're dealing with, is it? There is one form of black magic that could cause the fake coins to disappear in thin air, yes? Exactly. And the meter here gives it away. What on earth? I dropped my fucking coin. Hold on. Alright. There are remnants of the magical method used visible on the gas meter taken from the victim's room.
If that is your assertion, counsel, the defense will identify these remnants to the court at once.
My god, you are all stupid.
Where on the meter can the remnants of the method used to blah 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 blah?
Whoa! It's right here. We found this bar of soap at the scene of the crime just outside the victim's window. Outside? Yes, outside, where you yourself, Mr. Meterman, were loitering in the freezing winter air. That's where we found this soap. I get it! That's right. The answer, of course, is ice.
Did you say ice? What the fuck?
Mr. Shamspear has been leaving soaps like this outside his window each evening, filled with water. And after a night outside in the bitter cold, the water is completely frozen, solid, in the next morning. Then he takes his fake coins of ice and feeds them into the gas meter, giving him light and warmth in spades. As his room becomes very comfortably warm, the ice now inside the meter's coin box melts, turning back into water, and draining harmlessly away through the small hole made in the underside of the meter. That is how, without leaving any evidence of his wrongdoing, this man has been stealing Altamont gas! Suck my dick! Relevancy, bitch! Just like that. So simply. Is he trying to make us look like idiots? He's been fooling us all with some bars of soap and some water. That's right, madam. I don't believe it! It can't be true! Do you have any idea how much money we spent to develop that new meter? And now you have the audacity to suggest that a bit of soap and some water can render it totally useless?
I'm fairly sure I didn't design it.
Evidence!
Sorry?
I want evidence! If you're going to stand there and tell me our meters are rubbish, I want to see some proof.
She's very good at enforcing accountability, isn't she? Yeah. Very well, Lady Altamont. If you like evidence, I'll provide it.
What? Mr. Naruhodo, are you saying... Do you actually have evidence to support this theory?
I did notice a trace of something that bothered me a little at the time. The fucking puddle. It's the fucking puddle. I got that so fucking fast, motherfucker. And I have a feeling that this theory we've come up with now could explain it. A piece of evidence that substantiates theory about Mr. Shakespeare. Blah, 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 blah. Take that! Take that, motherfucker! This is a photograph of the scene at the point when the victim was discovered, taken by Inspector Gregson. And it clearly shows the remnants of the crime carried out by Mr. Shakespeare. What remnants? God, are you all blind? What the fuck? Here you can see the gas meter on the wall in Shakespeare's room. Now, look closely at the floorboards directly underneath the meter. Yeah, a puddle.
What is that? Some kind of grubby stain.
Almost certainly, it's a water stain, resulting from the liquid that drained out of the hole made in the meter. If one coin gives around 2 hours of gas usage, and the occupant was heating his room all his waking hours, we can imagine he would have saved around 10 of his fake, or he would have used around 10 of his fake coins each day. The melting ice inside the meter's coin box would have been dripping out almost constantly, leaving a stain on the floor. Eat shit.
This is awful.
And there's further evidence, too. Mr. Shakespeare slumped over his table, apparently having consumed strychnine, right? Strychnine. I think I remember that, right? Fuck yeah. And right there next to him is a bar of soap broken in half.
You're right.
It would appear to me, then, Counsel, that the man was eating the soap, was he?
God! We already had this discussion! No, he wasn't eating the fucking soap! Pardon me for disagreeing with your lordship, but certainly not. Thank you for being fucking logical. He didn't beat about the bush there, did he? In truth, Mr. Shakespeare was found with a fork in his hand.
A meal of soap is sounding increasingly likely.
Do you mean to say he was using that fork to... Yes. To extract a frozen coin from the bar of soap. But the bar broke in half. So perhaps it didn't go very well.
Good gracious!
Yep, there it is. Fuck this bottle! I like to imagine he's hitting one guy every time he does that. Lord Van Zykes! I was throwing my hand up in despair, and happened to catch my hollowed bottle on the way. Pray, forgive the malanderate mistake.
What is the meaning of this, Counsel?
Allow me to pose my learned friend a question. What exactly did you establish with your most recent cross-examination? That he's a con artist and a bit of a liar? Well, that he's a con artist and a bit of a liar. That Mr. William Shakespeare is a liar and a thief. In other words, that his testimony is unreliable. That's it. That's exactly it. I knew that from the get-go. Very well, let us assume the man is a liar. Now allow me to pose another question. What possible difference does that make? What the fuck? Well, we know that suicide can be discounted.
Scotland Yard investigation revealed no sign of another vessel that contained poison. On the night in question, there were no visitors to the room except the accused. The young gasman's testimony, which we have no reason to doubt, has confirmed that. Furthermore, the only possible way the poison could have entered the victim's body is via the tea. The court has seen no evidence whatsoever that suggests otherwise. Even if William Shakespeare is the liar you claim him to be, these facts have been objectively established. There's no escaping it. Therefore, in light of these facts, the prosecution calls for immediate adjudication. You... What?!
Yeah, with him. The fuck?
Order! Well, counsel, how does the defense respond?
Dead on the pavement, sir.
Mr. Naruhodo! Get the fuck up, bitch. What was the point of that last cross-examination? Did it actually get us anywhere? Did it make no difference at all, like Lord Van Zykes is saying? I'm gonna wait and see.
Everything is up in the air at the moment. Perhaps I should just wait and see what happens next.
Mr. Naruhodo! This is no time to sit back and watch how the trial unfolds. Oh, okay, sorry. We have to make our own way forward. Oh. A fledgling idea will never flourish into a mature argument that's able to win over the jury. Unless it's nurtured with some carefully chosen rhetoric.
Susato-san, I feel like your rhetoric is more carefully chosen than anyone's sometimes. It seems your argument has run its course. To nowhere. Objection! No, this isn't over. The defense will not rest. What?
But, counsel, you've successfully explained everything. You identified and substantiated the unscrupulous method employed by Mr. Shakespeare to consume gas. What more is there to discuss?
Lord Van Zykes just highlighted 3 facts in order to make his point. But contrary to what he would have the court believe, not all of them would have been objectively established at all.
What are you trying to say, my Nipponese friend?
At least one of those so-called facts is an assumption made due to lack of evidence.
But the situation has changed now, following the cross-examination of the latest witnesses to take the stand. Don't be absurd. What is this nonsense? Yes, when you bring everything we've learned so far together and consider it as a whole, it's clear. There's a question that we now need to reconsider. Namely, was someone else responsible? Was there another visitor? Was the poison in the tea? Was the poison in the tea? Yeah. We've all been led to believe that the strychnine poison that affected Mr. Shakespeare, I think I'm saying that right, was in the tea brought to him by Mr. Natsume, but that's conjecture at best. Objection! The victim has testified that nothing else passed his lips that night. There's no other possibility. And since there was no trace of the tea left at the scene, it could be tested for traces of poison. Objection, you're proving my point, bitch. As I said, the situation has changed. Because, in fact, some of Mr. Natsume's tea was left at the scene. And a particular piece of evidence proves it. What the fuck? A ludicrous claim. Scotland Yard detectives investigated the scene exhaustively. What evidence are you suggesting they missed?
The defense has made a bold claim indeed. You should probably save so that, in case you're wrong, you don't have to go this far back. Holy shit, I've been streaming for 2 hours.
We can just make it until, like, the next to be continued thing. I'm sure it can't be that far.
The defense has made a bold claim indeed. Very well, counsel. Present your proof. What evidence from the scene of the crime can tell us about the nature of the defendant's tea?
The cups, right?
Take that!
Cups?
What exactly is this piece of evidence supposed to reveal about Mr. Natsume's tea council that it was in cups?
Well, I suspect it may possibly be related to the tea in some small way if we dig deep enough.
Then you will be digging for a very long time indeed, my learned friend. Oh. Even at the bottom of the deepest chasm, you will find no sense in that absurd deduction. Alright, take two. Sometimes I wish I could disappear down a deep chasm to escape his deep sarcasm.
I advise you to think more deeply before you answer again this time. What evidence
Is it the crime scene photo?
Take that!
Take it. Motherfucker! Okay, I realize I fucked up. Then is it... What did I just... Wait, what did I just do? Let's take that present. Crime scene photograph. Thank you.
Take that!
Bar soap? Okay, fucking hell.
Good gracious! The soap again? The same bar the victim used to fashion his coin of ice?
Yes, that's right, my lord. It's just come back to me. Something about when we first found this bar of soap at the scene yesterday. It's more bars of soap. Soap. What are bars of soap doing lined up on the ledge outside of the window? I'm quite certain that when we originally stumbled upon the bars of soap, there was actually a frozen coin in each bar.
So you discovered the gas thief's coin factory. Fascinating.
In a way, yes, but there's more. The coin we found in the soap at the time weren't normal ice.
There was something strange about them, you mean?
Exactly. Something very obviously strange. They were red.
The ice was red. No, you mean...
That's right. It's obvious to me now. The fake coins in the soap were made from frozen tea!
What?
How to remind the court of a statement made by Mr. Natsume earlier in this trial.
That evening, yes, I did take some freshly brewed tea with me when I visited Mr. Shakespeare's room as a gift. The public water pump outside always freezes at night, so I brought bottled water especially to make it. And this is the result. I will never touch tea again, never!
There it is.
Ah, yes, I believe there had been a snowfall that day. It was particularly cold. Sadly, on such occasions, the poorly constructed water mains in the East End are prone to freezing.
So, on the night in question, Mr. Shakespeare, having no running water to use, was forced to use the tea brought by Mr. Natsume in order to make his fake coins!
My word!
There were 2 bars of soap on the window ledge when my judicial assistant and I investigated the scene. That's right, and we only borrowed one of them. Which means that even as we speak, some of the defendant's tea is still present at the scene of the crime, frozen solid in a bar of soap outside Mr. Shakespeare's window!
Extraordinary!
Earlier today, Inspector Gregson informed the court that if 1 drop of the tea remained, Scotland Yard would be able to analyze it for poison. As such, we are now in a position to prove or disprove what has, until now, been mere conjecture, by finding out for sure whether or not Mr. Natsume's tea actually contains strychnine at all.
Ugh, you smug Nipponese!
My lord, we cannot do the defendant the injustice of passing judgment now. The police would be dispatched to recover the remaining bar of soap from the scene at once. And the defense requests a thorough analysis of the frozen tea embedded in it to determine whether or not it contains any poison. Suck my dick, Van Zykes!
Bailiff! Bailiff! Instruct the police to attend the scene at once! Yes, my lord, understood.
And to be continued. To be continued. Motherfuck. You know what? I'm gonna call it there, actually.
It would seem we have no choice.
Oh, wait, never mind.
Suspend these proceedings for the time being. I trust you have no objections, Lord Van Zykes?
None, my lord.
Scotland Yard will recover the tea from the scene and carry out the requisite tests immediately. The trial will resume at the same hour tomorrow. The prosecution and defense may conduct further investigations as appropriate in the inter.
Yes, my lord! Oh, are we actually gonna do a second investigation part? That's cool. This one's actually more in tune with normal. Sorry, I had to do that! Well, but this one's more like in the normal. Managed to scrape through there somehow.
Thank you, counsels. Court is adjourned until tomorrow.
Okay, so we are gonna do a second investigation and then another trial. Okay. To be continued, son of a bitch. Let's go. Dun, 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 dun. All right, and now we are on investigation part 3, and that will be for another stream. No, but this trial is fucking crazy. Like, fucking fake coins, a fucking whole scam artist scheme. This shit's fucking crazy. Anyways, video producer, stream manager. I'm just gonna raid someone, and then we'll be on our merry way. Who the fuck is streaming? I'll just put it on Vienna, I guess. I don't know. I'll just do the raid. Okay, bye everyone. Bye everyone. It was good streaming. Bye.